Hello, fellow traders. Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Wednesday, July the 6th. The year's 2022. Let's talk trading, gambling, part 2 with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and differ from Walmal's. Walmal, yesterday I talked to the boys and girls at non-binary traders about looking at trading as gambling as opposed to not gambling, because sometimes people use gambling as a derogatory term, but I was looking at it as a way possibly to change the way change the way somebody views trading, so it's a lot less scary, so they won't hesitate to pull the trigger.
Yeah, trading in my mind, trading to a certain extent is gambling, and it's not something that it needs to necessarily be something derogatory. Sure, if you're the guy that is completely addicted to it, and to the point in which you're going to go and bet which way a fly goes and which direction a fly is going to fly off a door handle or something like that. And yeah, there's a problem there, and at that point in time, if you have that type of personality, maybe trading's not for you. But there is an element of gambling to trading, and it's not necessarily bad. I mean, I'll give a personal example of that. I had an uncle, and actually it wasn't my uncle, it was my father's uncle. But if anybody knows anything about horses, I mean, he made a living going in, excuse me, going down to the track, and making money down at the track. And he had a beautiful house, and raised his four kids, and did very well at it because he was gambling, no question about it. But the thing was, there's an element to trading, there's an element to making money down at the track that can't be denied, and that is, what is your research? What are you doing? Or are you finding that element that's going to go and give you that slight edge? And I can give you a perfect example of that. Why I know gambling you can make money gambling. And it's this place that's called Las Vegas. The guy's coming into gambling, but you know what? The house is gambling too. But what has the house done? They've set the rules up in such a way that they've got maybe a 0.5%, or that's really all they have is a 0.5% or 1% edge, and they know over time that they can go make money, and at the end of the day, they'll be putting more money into their bank than they'll be taking out of their bank. And that's what matters, and that's what we have to do as traders. Recognize the fact that, hey, to a certain extent, we are gambling. There's no question about it. There's nothing bad about that, as long as it's not a problem. But what are we doing? What rules are we putting in place so that we can go and take advantage of the system that's put in place? And there are lots of ways of doing it. Some people do it with long term. TRO, and you and I were just talking about guys who are out there and they trade long term, but they're looking to go and make that 1,000 pip move, but they've got bank accounts that are big enough to go and have huge stop losses of 100, 200, 300 pips even, which means you have to have a tremendous amount of money in your account to be able to sustain that much of a loss in order to go make any money that's worth anything. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's just one method. Another, or you can go to the other extreme where somebody like me, where I'm just looking to I'm happy if I make 2 pips on a trade, and by doing it that way, I don't have to have nearly as much money in my account. Still need to have money in the account, but not nearly as much. And so, but what you have to do is put in place things that are going to protect you, preserve your capital. You need to have things that you just don't violate. And that's the most important thing. When you go in there, if you take a trip out to Atlantic City or Las Vegas, and obviously I'm being U.S. centric here. Let's say we're going down to Monaco, okay, or someplace like that in Europe. The reality is, going in, the odds are definitely against you going in those places because they've set the rules that way. But you can preserve your capital, meaning you can go make sure that you don't lose any more money than you have to or want to. And that's the most important thing. You can go and say, I'm not going to lose any more money. Let's say I go and say, I'm going to go into Las Vegas and I am not going to lose more than $1,000. You can guarantee that, okay? Because when you get to the point where you've lost $989.19, let's say, whatever it may be, I'm obviously just being, tongue in cheek here. The reality is, I don't need to belly up to the table again. I can walk away. Well, in trading, I can do the same thing. I can put my stop losses in place. I can go and say, I'm not going to lose more than this on a particular trade. If I had a particularly bad day, I'm not going to lose more than, let's say, that $1,000 for that day. It's just the way it is. I'm not going to take another trade. I'm going to have enough money in my account so I can come back tomorrow. And that's what you have to do, because if you don't do that, if you don't take care of that money management side of it, you're done, okay? And that's the whole key to trading, in my opinion anyway. I mean, others may disagree with me, and that's fine. But for me, when I finally got a hold of that part of my trading, that's where the tables turned. That's when I was able to go and, everybody says maximize profits, cut losses. Well, my goal was just to go and, not necessarily cut the losses as much as prevent losing any more than I'm willing to lose.
Exactly.
So, and that's really that's the similarity between trading and gambling, and it's just you just got to go and be able to control. It's like anything else. You got to be able to control what you're doing, and I just said that money management is like number one priority. At least it's my number one priority in everything I do in trading, and where that all comes down to is if you're not a disciplined person, you're going to have some difficulty with trading. I'm just going to be flat out honest with you. If you're the type of person that is completely spontaneous, okay, you're going to have some big wins and you're going to have some big losses. So what you need to do with that type of personality is you need to go and maybe create some structure in your life to go and, and I know it's going against what your natural personality is, but you're going to need to go and do that in order to go and prevent yourself from going and doing things that you shouldn't be doing. In other words, no airball trades, no taking trades just because it's there to take and it's not following any of your rules. Don't get out of trades just because you feel like getting out of it. Don't not get out of trades because you think you're gonna get greedy and think you're gonna make more money. No, you need to go and figure out what your rule set is, and you need to go and match that rule set to what you see the market doing, so that you can make money. Because one of the things that it's funny, Hero, you've written I don't know how many thousands of indicators it seems like that you've written, and every single one of them would work with a particular person. No question about it in my mind. But the thing is, you need to go and figure out, okay, what you see in the market, not what Tiro sees in the market, not what I see in the market, not what anybody else sees in the market. You need to sit down, watch the charts, watch how price moves, look at the indicators, and match the indicator with what you're actually seeing. Because I think if you go and take that, I'm trying to be very pragmatic here. If you go and take that and match with what you're seeing with the indicator, and the indicators do nothing more for you other than making it easier for you to spot it quicker, okay? Because the computer's going to spot it quicker than you can spot it. If you can go and do that, you're on a good path at that point in time. Then the next step is the most important step, which I've already alluded to, and that is your discipline. Doing what the indicator tells you to do, doing what your eyes see to do, and go and do it and execute it quickly. And when you don't execute it quickly, get out of it quickly. And when you do execute it quickly, continue to execute it quickly. Meaning, okay, I'm in the trade. Guess what? There's a point where another decision has to be made. That is, when do I get out? What do my rules say? And that's how you take advantage of it. That's what gives you the edge, in terms of gambling. Because you know what, I can go, 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago, I was thinking, as I was talking, I was saying, I wish I wasn't on this phone call right now because I would have taken a long there, but because it would have been a beautiful long to go and take based on my rules. But also, I would already be out of it because my rules say you could get out of the trade at this point because there's a good chance it's going to flush back down. Will it? I don't know. And that's the whole thing. I don't know what it's going to do. The market's going to do whatever the market's going to do, and that's the element of gambling there because nobody knows what it's going to do next. Unless you believe that there's a person in there that's literally orchestrating price, completely orchestrating price, which I don't believe. What I do believe is that there may be some people that are out there that are going to go and maybe influence price enough so that eventually it gets to where they want it to go, but they're not going to tell you whether they can't go and make the next tick go and do whatever they want to do. Why? Because they're not the only one out there playing. There's lots of other people out there playing.
Yeah.
And notice how that flushed. I don't know if you get that screen up, but it's just like I said, I would have gotten out, and the reason why is because it would have flushed back down to my entry, and that's exactly what price did.
Yeah, well, we've noticed that with the pound. I mean, it's like today I woke up about 1 o'clock my time and I was like, oh man, too bad I hadn't traded because it went through the launch pad. And then I woke up about 5 o'clock my time and see that they had tanked it all the way to this level. It's just like, whoa.
Yeah, who would have thought, And the thing is, you look at the U.S. economy right now, there's no daggone good reason that you can go and state that the dollar should be getting this strong, when you look at the U.S. economy as a whole. Now, if you go and take in the world as a whole, maybe there is. Maybe the U.S. is bad, but maybe the European situation may be worse. I don't know. I don't get into that too much, to be honest with you. But the reality is that something is bringing this price down. I don't know what it is, but something's bringing the pound dollar down, devaluing the pound and increasing the value of the dollar. I don't know what it is. It doesn't make any sense to me why it's doing what it's doing, but it doesn't matter. And the reason why it doesn't matter is because I can still see what price is doing and what I got to trade. And I know you say this all the time, Hero, and that is that I got to trade what I see, not what I think. I got to trade what I see.
Right.
I got to trade what I see and not what I believe price is going to go and do. I say to you all the time on the phone, I think price is going to go to X, X, and many times it does. But the reality is, I'm not going to trade what I think where price is going to go. I'm going to trade what I see price doing because that's what makes you money.
Exactly.
So do you have any questions for me on my crazy thoughts?
Well, no, I don't think it's crazy. Like I said, to me, when you put on a TP and a stop loss, then basically you are now gambling because you're leaving it up to the market, which is something you have to do anyway. It's just in this case, rather than managing the trade tick by tick, you're gambling that your prediction what price is going to do over the short term is what you're betting on. That you can.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Now, the thing is, you can make money doing that. You absolutely can make money doing that because if you have a strategy out there where you've noticed a pattern that, hey, in this particular area, in this particular pattern on the screen, with these candles or this or that or whatever, hey, if I take a trade here and I'm looking to get a 2-to-1, on this type of thing, and I know over time that wins, there's nothing wrong with that. You're gambling in the sense that you're taking a chance that it's going to go and do it. Well, that's trading. There's nothing wrong with it. And again, it gets down to like what I think what you mentioned earlier on this video, and is that it's not something that's not being derogatory to somebody doing that. It's another method to doing it, and that's the beauty, I think, Tiro, of trading, is that you and I and everybody else out there, we can all be trading differently, and we can all be making money.
That's right. That's because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it, fellow traders. The fastest 15 minutes in trading is up. So hopefully everybody can go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.